Sup, guys? Wait a minute. You guys aren't the real Avengers. I can tell Hulk gives it away. Oh, that was awesome.
Spider-Man 2 swung into our lives around 1962 in Amazing Fantasy. And almost overnight, he became one of the most influential and most popular characters of all time. I mean, like almost any list you see that has the top 3 most popular characters is going to be a combination of Batman, Superman, and Spider-Man. And he's really Marvel's like flagship overall. And dating back from 62 to now, he's had his first run of Amazing Spider-Man had over 700 issues. He sold hundreds of thousands of comics, if not millions. His 5 movies sold like $4 billion worldwide. He's had a Broadway play, and he's had over 7 cartoons. So he's a big deal.
I'm kind of a big deal.
So it was kind of cool that Sony finally relinquished not entirely their rights, but the overall rights for like the character as a whole, so that Marvel can finally start doing their own stories and kind of pushing the Spider-Man that we've known for the last 40 or like 50 years now. So a lot of us are very excited to see what they can finally do. You got a first glimpse of that in Captain America Civil War, where Tom Holland finally donned the tights. And for the most part, we were all really, really excited because he did a really good job. It was really new and refreshing to see a young character tackle this popular young character, which in the past, you've had 30-year-old men portraying Spider-Man, and it's been kind of weird on the screen as an overall. Not to say that the first Spider-Man movies directed by Sam Raimi were not good. They were very good. The first Spider-Man kind of paved the way to show everybody that superhero movies just in general could be really good and could make money. Tobey Maguire did a very good job. In the first 2 movies, the second one especially has been heralded as one of the greatest superhero movies of all time. And there was a lot of really amazing scenes like this.
Spider-Man! This is why only fools are heroes. Because you never know when some lunatic will come along with a sadistic choice. Let die the woman you love, or suffer the little children. Make your choice, Spider-Man, and see how a hero is rewarded.
Don't do it, Goblin!
We are who we choose to be. Now choose!
We're slowing down.
The problem was expectation and popularity can kind of doom a franchise. The third Spider-Man movie had so much momentum that it was doomed from the start. I mean, Sam Raimi tried to appease all the fans, and Sony and everybody else ended up making a movie that was just really for nobody. You cram too many villains together to do stories and plots, and what you get is things like this. So Sony decided to revamp everything and cast Andrew Garfield as the new Peter Parker. And the first Amazing Spider-Man was not bad. It was solid. A lot of people really liked his interpretation of Spider-Man, and it was definitely more of a younger, sarcastic look, which is what we are more used to. But the problem is that they didn't know where they were going with the Amazing Spider-Man 2. And it's just, you just get blah. You just get terrible sequences and scenes, and you get like emo montages, and it fell flat on its face to the point where Sony was ready to just hand the rights back over. So thankfully for us, the fans, we get to see the real Spider-Man coming up July 7th. It's going to be Spider-Man Homecoming. We get to see Tom Holland take on the spandex, and really, we're going to get to see what he has to offer. Alongside him, you're going to get Michael Keaton, who's going to be playing the Vulture. For anybody who doesn't know, the Vulture is one of Spider-Man's oldest villains, which is really weird because he's not like a main common theme villain like the Green Goblin or Venom or somebody, but he's been around forever, and his character is very shallow overall. He was this engineer who was in league with this partner of his for this company, and he finds out that his partner has been embezzling, and he's lost all of his money, so he turns to crime. But before that, him and his partner created this power suit that allowed flight and super strength. So he takes the suit and he starts doing crimes and whatnot, and making money. Well, it's not too long before our friendly neighborhood web slinger goes head to head with him and eventually beats him, and then he kind of gets like an arch rival over all these years. And from there, I mean, like, Vulture really never grew as a character. He's had subplots where he hates being old, and so he's trying to find ways to be young. He's had cancer at some points, and at some points, besides that, he's actually fought other people trying to take up the mantle of Vulture. So he's been kind of like an anti-hero at times. But most notably, he joined the Sinister Six, which is kind of like his big claim to fame. So I'm excited to see what Michael Keaton's going to bring, who is kind of like... Michael Keaton as an actor was really big deal in the 80s and early 90s, and then he kind of fell off a little bit, and it took him a while to kind of get back in the limelight. He did Birdman, which exploited him back onto the scene where people wanted to see him in like a new Batman movie. People want to see him doing like another Beetlejuice. So I'm glad to see that he's back in the superhero genre, this time as a villain. And I can't wait to see what he's going to do with this character, the Vulture, who, like I said, is very shallow. So I'm excited to see what he's going to bring. So that's really cool. Besides Tom Holland and Michael Keaton, you're going to get a couple of new actors playing characters. You're going to get Marissa Tomei playing Aunt May, which a lot of people are upset because she's so young and attractive. They're like, oh no, Aunt May's supposed to be old. But to me, it's like, ants come in all shapes and sizes and ages, and I think it's weird that Aunt May's been 80 years old for all this time. I mean, how old were Peter Parker's parents? I mean, like, I assume that they were in their 40s when like, you know, they had died and everything, which would have meant that his parents and Aunt May's like 40 years ahead of them in age. Her parents were having sex in like their 80s. I mean, like, it kind of, you know, in the comments it was fine. I think it's totally cool that like their new take on her and everything. I have no problem to that at all. Tom Holland, I think we should all be expecting a lot from him because he's kind of set the bar really high after having a really good foundation of a stage that he set in Civil War. He looked really cool. He was really funny. He's really catchy. He stole almost every scene that he was in.
You have a metal arm? That is awesome, dude. You have the right to remain silent.
And so he should be really good. Next to him, you're going to get Robert Downey Jr. is going to come back as Iron Man, obviously. I'm pretty sure his overall take in the movie is going to be maybe 2 scenes at the most. It's going to be kind of like him talking to like Peter, and then like, you know, some quips here and there, and then he'll probably be out of the movie. I would expect Spider-Man to be in 99% of this movie, and Robert Downey Jr. to be in maybe 2% of the movie, but every movie that Robert Jr.'s been in has been a huge success. So him just being in this in general should mean that this movie is going to do really, really great. And then playing the love interest is gonna. I'm not sure if I'm gonna say her name right. It's Anaguar Rice. I think I'm saying that right. I'm not sure. She will be playing Betty Brant, who is the original love interest of Peter Parker. You get a lot of Gwen Stacy and everything, and she was early on, but Betty Brant was the first actually, and so it was Betty and then Gwen and then Mary Jane. So I like that they're setting off how it's supposed to start, and then eventually you'll get to his later love interest that kind of changed his character overall. And in fact, I'm hoping that maybe the next one will have a Black Cat. She's a really cool character, a cat thief, like a thief in the night. And I'm hoping that her and Peter Parker's friendship blooms from like a high school thing, because they've had like this on again, off again love interest throughout the comics. You know, like will they, won't they type of thing. So it'd be really cool to see them, building that relationship early on. If I'm having to think of what the plot will be, I don't think it'll be anything intricate. I think it'll be something very simple. The movie should start around 6 months after Peter Parker has already become Spider-Man. So I'm hoping that we don't have an actual origin story. I'm not sure if it'll take place after Civil War, but it might. I know that it's a really close time frame. So I think that we'll get Spider-Man doing heroic things and saving people's lives, and then the Vulture will, I'm assuming, have some sort of a tech company. It will then he will get screwed over in some kind of fashion and then turn to crime. And then him and Peter Parker will go at it a little bit. Which I think the Vulture will win the first round, and then he'll endanger his friends and his family, and then Peter Parker will come full circle, and he'll end up being like the ultimate hero and everything. Going from the plot, the three things that I am looking for in the new movie, coming in at number 3, the tone of the movie. The first Spider-Man series, the first 5 movies, are very emotional, very melodramatic and sad, and it's no fun for the most part. You get very little glimpses of fun, and the great thing about Peter Parker is he's a kid with superpowers just trying to do the right thing. So you're supposed to get a lot of his color and his overall immaturity, because he's always talking and joking and stuff, and a lot of that doesn't come out in the original films. And it's kind of annoying. So I'm hoping that Tom Holland just runs with this and just goes for it. My second thing I'm looking for is a costume. We got a little taste of it in Civil War. I'm wondering if in the new movie they're going to start him off with his homemade costume, and it kind of tells you in terms of how it's built and everything. And then we go from there and we get the new costume, which was created by Tony Stark. Because in the first one movies, they just made an outfit that does not resemble anything in the comics whatsoever. So I like that in the trailers we've seen a little bit that kind of resembles of the original Amazing Spider-Man from the 60s, the little bitty spider and everything, with which is works by Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko. So I'm excited to see that they're sticking to their roots with he has the webbing under his arms and everything. So it could be really cool. And then the number one thing I'm looking for is how this movie will tie in with the Avengers. Does Spider-Man become a full-time member? Is he on a probationary period? Is this going to help him tie into the Infinity War coming out next year? These are all really important because he's one of those popular characters of all time. He's Marvel's most popular character, and he needs to be at the forefront if Marvel wants to continue to be wildly successful. You can't just keep turning out Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain Marvel and the Inhumans and Black Panther, hoping that those stick for you. You have to have your key guys consistently kicking ass for you. And I think that Spider-Man is a household favorite, he's a comic favorite, he's a fanboy favorite, and he needs to be a movie favorite as well. So these are all the things I'm looking for. I'm very excited. Go see it July 7th. Thank you so much for watching. Next week, hopefully next week, I will be talking about Thor Ragnarok and all the makings in Asgard that's currently going on. Thanks for watching. This has been a Geek in Thought.